Okay, boys and girls, here we are, the third day back at Rocky Railway. Jesus' power pulls us through. I hope you're enjoying yourself. I really hope that the boys and girls are inviting friends to watch because we want to have just as many boys and girls listening this week and learning all about God's power pulling us through. Can we welcome back Mrs. Jen?
Hi.
So, how are you doing?
Great. It's been such a fun week.
It has been. I'm learning lots. Are you?
Absolutely.
Now, are you ready for today's train trivia?
Yes.
Now, when you come to a railway crossing and there's a train coming, what do you usually hear? Woo-hoo. You hear a train whistle. Now, did you know though, that train conductors or train engineers, they communicate through the train's whistle.
I did not
There's
know
a whole, almost like a secret language amongst engineers. So, like, two short toots and two long toots could mean one thing, or one long toot and one short. Like, everything has its own little message. They have to be really bold, and it can be kind of annoying if you're in a quiet place and all of a sudden you hear these, big loud train whistles. They have to be bold to get their message across. And that kind of reminds me of maybe today's Bible point.
Yes, our Bible point today is Jesus' power helps us to be bold.
I think we might be talking about being bold today.
Yeah.
Yes. And our Bible verse today is taken from Isaiah chapter 40, verse 29. And it says, He, meaning God, gives power to the weak and strength to the powerless.
That's good.
Sometimes when we want to tell people about God's love, we kind of get a little bit nervous that we need to be bold, and we can be bold in telling people about God's love when we let Him give us the power, when we're weak.
Right.
That's pretty cool. And what else are we going to learn today?
Well, today we're going to have a special visit from Sierra, and she's a mountain lion.
Okay, and she will help us to
Be bold.
Yes, we're going to be bold. Okay, let's watch.
Is everyone on board for another exciting day? I'm roaring to go. My name is Sierra, and I'm a mountain lion. Now, you might think lions only belong in Africa, but North America has their lions too. My friends and I go by other names like pumas, panthers, catamounts, and cougars. That's because I live all over the western part of the globe, and different people have different names for me. In fact, aside from humans, no other mammal covers such a large range of territory. I am one cool cat, aren't I? My tawny fur doesn't start out like this. As a baby, I had spots. I think God gave me those so I'd blend in with the tall grass where my mother hid me. After my brothers and sisters and I were old enough to hunt, we left our pride and went out on our own. Most of the time, I'm pretty quiet. After all, if I'm making a lot of noise, it's gonna be hard for me to sneak up on my lunch. Shh, be quiet. A girl's gotta eat. Of course, there are times when I need to make a big, bold noise. Even though I look a lot like a lion, I don't roar. I've got a pretty intimidating scream, though. Isn't that the cat's meow? When I need to catch a meal, I have to move fast. I'm glad God gave me such powerful legs to run, jump, and pounce. Without those mighty muscles, I'd go hungry. God made my legs so powerful, mountain lions can jump up to 18 feet high and 40 feet long. That'd be like me jumping on top of your house. God created me with muscles to leap and pounce. Sometimes you need to boldly leap or pounce on an opportunity. Maybe it's hard to be bold when you need to make a new friend. Tell the truth. Or boldly talk about Jesus. The Bible has this powerful promise for you. He gives power to the weak and strength to the powerless. You can trust that Jesus' power will give you the strength you need to be bold. Jesus is right with you, cheering you on all the way. Pounce on the opportunity. Jesus' power helps us be bold. Trust Jesus.
I heard some great news this morning. Cam and his crew were able to fix the tracks. Now they'll be able to go down the mountain and deliver all those M&Ms.
Did I hear my name? Did someone say my name? Are you cheering for me?
Yes, we are. We heard that you fixed the tracks. Are you ready to deliver all those M&Ms?
Oh yeah, can't wait. So excited. Yeah. Oh look, a squirrel.
Cam, are you hiding?
If you see a train conductor, can you tell him that I went to, water my lawn?
Cam, I don't know why you're hiding, but if you could just come out. Tell us what's going on. We can probably help you.
Ooh, you're right. Maybe I should wear a disguise. What do you think?
Unless being disguised as a tree is what you're going for, I don't think so. Just tell us what's going on.
Well, the conductor reminded me that before we get down the mountain, we have to go up and over a really steep one. And now he's trying to find me so we can get rolling, full steam ahead.
But I thought that's what you wanted to do, delivering the M&Ms and all.
It is, it's just, I've never gone down such a steep mountain before. I've gone over little hills and on long plains and around crazy curvy bends and super tall bridges, but I'm really nervous about going up and then back down such a steep mountain.
Doing new things takes courage and boldness, but I'm glad that I don't have to do it alone. Jesus' power helps us be bold, and you don't have to use your own strength. You can be sure that the one strong enough to create the mountains is strong enough to help you get over them.
That sounds nice, but I'm still nervous.
Well, we have some new songs that can help your situation, and it's all about Jesus' power and helping us be bold.
Oh, okay, that might actually help a lot. I'll stay here while you guys sing and remind me of the power of Jesus. Then I'll go find the train conductor and tell him I'm ready. Thanks, guys.
We believe in you, Cam.
We trust in you, Jesus. You're all that we need. Your power will pull us through. We're trusting in you. We're trusting in you. You give us hope and life that's forever. You make us bold and we stand together. Your power will pull us through. We're trusting in you. We're trusting in you. We're off on this journey, there's no looking back. With Jesus to lead us, we're on the right track. Oh, 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 oh. Wide open spaces for wide open eyes. We're looking ahead for the next big surprise. Oh, 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 oh. We trust in you, Jesus. You're all that we need. Your power will pull us through. We're trusting in you. We're trusting in you. You give us hope and life that's forever. You make us bold and we stand together. Your power will pull us through. We're trusting in you. We're trusting in you. We're off on this journey, there's no looking back. With Jesus to lead us, we're on the right track. Oh, 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 oh. spaces for wide open eyes. We're looking ahead for the next big surprise. Oh, 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 oh. We trust, we trust, we trust in you, Jesus. You're all that we need. Your power will pull us through. We're trusting in you. We're trusting in you. You give us hope and life that's forever. Make us whole, and we stand together. Your power will pull us through. We're trusting in you. We're trusting in you. Your power will pull us through. We're trusting in you. We're trusting in you. We're trusting in you. We're trusting in you. We're trusting in you.
If there's one thing we can count on, it's that God will never let us down, and we can trust everything He does. He keeps His promises, we know, because, yeah, the word of the Lord holds true. We can trust Him, we can trust Him. Yeah, the word of the Lord holds true. We can trust Him, we can trust Him. Yeah.
If there's one thing we can count on, it's that God will never let us down, and we can trust everything He does. He keeps His promises, we know, because, yeah, the word of the Lord holds true. We can trust Him, we can trust Him. Yeah, the word of the Lord holds true. We can trust Him, we can trust Him. Yeah, the word of the Lord holds true. We can trust Him, we can trust Him. Yeah, the word of the Lord holds true. We can trust Him, we can trust Him. We can trust Him, we can trust Him.
Hey kids, have you ever had to be really bold about something? I mean, you had to do something that was going to take every bit of courage inside of you? I have too. Well, in our story today, we are going to look at 3 Hebrew guys, and they had to be very, very bold. But like our Bible point says today, Jesus' power helps us be bold. So our story today is found in Daniel chapter 3. And there was a really evil king, King Nebuchadnezzar. Yeah, try saying that 3 times fast. King Nebuchadnezzar was evil. He didn't love God. He loved himself. And he actually did something that the Bible says we are not to do. He wanted to make himself like God. He wanted to be an idol that people bowed down to. And so he instructed all of his people to build this huge statue of him. Boys and girls, it was 90 feet high, that even if I'm looking up towards the mountains, I don't even know how high that would be. And 9 feet wide, which is about really, really wide. And this statue, when it was built, it was to serve a purpose. Anytime all of the instruments started playing, all of the people were to come to the statue, and they were bow down to King Nebuchadnezzar. You know, boys and girls, God gave us 10 rules called the 10 Commandments. And one of those commandments says, you shall not bow down before any idol. In other words, God is the one true God, the God who created the heavens and the earth. Well, this started to happen. But there were 3 Hebrew men. Their names were Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. They loved the one true God with all of their hearts, and they were determined they would not bow down to any idol unless it was God himself. who is not an idol. Anyway, the king also said, anybody who refuses to bow down to this idol, I want my soldiers to throw them into a hot, fiery furnace, and they will be killed by the fire right away. Oh, he was so evil. Anyway, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, they still knew that they were not going to bow down to an idol because they served the one true God. Well, the servants got wind of this, and they went back to King Nebuchadnezzar, and they said, King Nebuchadnezzar, there are 3 Hebrew guys, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and they have declared that they will refuse to bow down to the idol. Well, this really made the king mad, and he instructed the soldiers to make the furnace 7 times hotter. I don't know how fire gets any hotter than fire, but apparently it does. And so the king brought the men before him and said, I hear that you refuse to bow down to the idol. And they said, no, king, we serve the one true God. We will not bow down to any idol. They might have sung a song that went something like this. Be it known unto you, be it known unto you, be it known unto you, we won't bow down. For the God we serve is here, so if you'll just lend your ear, be it known unto you, we'll not bow down. They loved God so much. Well, the king was furious, and he instructed his soldiers to tie the 3 men up together and to throw them into the furnace. And so, boys and girls, listen to this. The soldiers did that, but the flames were so hot that the soldiers who were throwing them into the fire, they died. The flames killed them. The heat, just by throwing the guys into the fire. Well, then, another servant looked, and he said, King Nebuchadnezzar, didn't we throw 1, 2, 3 men into the fiery furnace? I'm looking, and I see 4 people there. They're not tied up, and they're walking around in the fire. Well, King Nebuchadnezzar went, and he looked, and he said, oh, you're right. And King Nebuchadnezzar recognized that the person in the fire with them was like an angel or a servant of God that had protected them. Boys and girls, those 3 guys walked out of that fire. The Bible tells us that not one hair on their head was even burnt, and their clothes didn't even smell like smoke. Now, you know, when you've been around a campfire, we love to be around campfires, but boy, our clothes sure stink of fire and smoke after, don't they? But these guys, because God had given them the power to be bold and to stand up to the king, and God protected them. Boys and girls, when you or when I have to be so bold about something, and we need the courage that only God can give, he's right there, ready to give it to us. So remember this, Jesus' power gives us the reason to be bold.
She's your pretty typical kid. She loves Legos and animals.
These are freshwater fish. Mine is Peaches. My brother's is Green Lantern. My sister's is Uma.
She loves learning.
My favorite subject in school is writing. I did write. This is kind of like a comic book.
She also loves cruising around her basement on her scooter and bouncing on trampolines. Lauren also serves Jesus in a big, bold way by serving at her local food kitchen.
I saw all the people who didn't have food, so I wanted to help them. My first time I served in community kitchen, I tried it in California and I wanted to do it here. So I told my mom and she found a place and she said I can go.
First thing, she meets with her crew to get a plan for the day.
It feels nice and it feels like God wants me to do this because it's important that people who don't have very much things, that we need to care for them. I am the drink and dessert person. When I do desserts, I walk back and forth taking down desserts and putting them on a table.
Once everything is set up, they say a prayer before everyone is served.
Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for the food that you have done.
It's time to start serving.
When they start, we have to pour the drinks.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Wow! Isn't it cool to see Lauren's boldness as she serves and meets all these grown-ups?
You're welcome. We serve juice, we serve milk, and we serve coffee, hot chocolate. It makes me feel bold when I show them that I care about them and that they are important and that we should care for them. And they're always happy when I'm there. That makes me feel good. Welcome.
You're doing a great job.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Lauren enjoys serving so much, she invites others to serve with her.
My brother wants to go with me, so he'll come next time.
In the Bible, the book of Isaiah tells us, He gives power to the weak and strength to the powerless.
God has given me the power to show people that they matter and that it's kind to care for people who need stuff and who are just on the streets, who don't have food, who don't have homes. They need stuff, and I've got the power from God to show them that they matter.
Jesus' power helps us be bold.
Wow. My goodness, Lauren, what a brave young girl she is. Do you have that kind of boldness inside of you? Our PowerPoint today says Jesus' power helps us be bold. You know, for such a young lady to go into a community kitchen and help with adults and serve men and women that she didn't recognize who were strangers to her, but because she knew that God loved those people, she wanted to be bold enough, and she did it, didn't she? What has God ever asked you to do that makes you have to be bold? I remember one time, I was a little bit older than Lauren. I was in high school. But there were some things going on in my high school, and actually in my English class, we were supposed to read a couple of textbooks, stories, but they had some terrible, bad language in them. And I knew in my heart that they weren't the kind of book that God wanted me to read. And so some friends who also love God, we just kind of decided, you know what? We are going to take a stand. We are going to ask God to help us be bold, and we are going to very nicely tell the principal that we would like different books to read that didn't have such bad language. Well, you know, we kind of knew that some of our friends would make fun of us, I knew that my high school principal would not be happy, but I knew I wanted to please God, and so did my other friends. And so we prayed together. Our parents prayed together. Our pastor prayed with us. And we went and we wrote a nice letter, and we just said, could you please give us other textbooks to read? And you know what, boys and girls? They did. They gave us other books to read and we marked on. Yes, I had some friends that made fun of me, and my high school principal wasn't too pleased, but he let it happen. And one day in English class, we were just discussing the books. And of course, my name came up because I wouldn't read such and such a book. And so the teacher asked my classmates, what did they think of my decision? And some of the kids just, they didn't agree. But one girl who was really popular, she said, I don't agree with what she thinks, but I respect her for standing up what she believes in. Boys and girls, I couldn't have done that in my own power. God gave me the power to be bold. And so God is telling you, be bold. When you need to do something and stand up for God, He will give you the power to be bold.
Feel it in the air right now. It's all around, I see it everywhere. It's the power. Yeah, God's power. It's the power to move any star. It's the power to heal your broken heart. It's the power. Yeah, God's power. So don't hold back, no, don't hold still. God is here and He is real. Take 4 steps to the left, to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn it around and move to the right. 1, 2, 3. Now take tiny little jumps forward to the front. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 jumps back, but you better look back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now freeze. And everybody clap your hands. Now stop. I feel it in the air right now. It's all around, I see it everywhere. It's the power. Yeah, God's power. It's the power to move any star. It's the power to heal your broken heart. It's the power. Yeah, God's power. So don't hold back, no, don't hold still. God is here and He is real. Take 4 steps to the left, to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn it around and move to the right. 1, 2, 3. Now take tiny little jumps forward to the front. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 jumps back, but you better look back. Let's do it all again right now. Take 4 steps to the left, to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn it around and move to the right. 1, 2, 3. Now take tiny little jumps forward to the front. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 jumps back, but you better look back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now freeze. And everybody clap your hands. Now stop.
Well, good day, everybody. I am so happy you've come back the middle of the week at Rocky Railway. Jesus Power pulls us through. And it's Pastor Sue back with William and Eliana. And how are you guys doing today? Good. Can you believe we are like halfway through already? Is it going too fast for you? Oh, just right, just right. Okay, so I want to see if you remember some things that we talked about today. Now, when I did the train trivia, there was something pretty cool that I taught you. And let me see. Eliana, can you remember what that is?
The people who work at the trains use the different sounds of the whistle in different patterns to communicate to the other people working.
Right. So like we kind of all thought that when you heard a train whistle, there's just a whistle. We didn't know that there's actually different types of whistles that give different messages, right? So I thought that was pretty cool. Now today's Bible point, let me see. William, what is today's Bible point?
Jesus' power helps us to be bold.
Very good. And let me see, I think we talked about 3 guys in the Bible who had to be bold in our story. Do you remember who they were?
They were Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
Right, and Eliana, were they bold?
Yes.
What did they do that made them so bold?
They didn't bow down to King Nebuchadnezzar.
They didn't, and so because of that, they got thrown into that hot, fiery furnace. But something amazing happened. What was that, William?
Well, an angel of God came, and King Nebuchadnezzar came, and he saw 4 people in the fiery furnace, and then they were walking in circles, and then they walked right out of the fire.
And the Bible says that none of their hair was burnt, and they didn't even smell like fire. God is pretty cool. And Eliana, who was our Bible buddy today, and tell me something about them.
Sierra, a mountain lion, and she can jump 40 feet in the air and 18 feet high.
Wow, you guys are amazing because I don't know if I would remember all that. Okay, well, you know what? That is a wrap for day 3. We've got 2 days left. So boys and girls, come on back tomorrow and join us. Let's give everybody a goodbye. Bye. See you tomorrow.